Bingham Park is located in East Greensboro and has been a long neighborhood gathering space rooted in community memory and everyday life. But beneath the surface lies a different story. This 12-acre park was built in the 1970s on top of an unregulated landfill from the 1920s to about the 1950s, where household and military waste was burned and was buried into the soil.
Of Bingham Park, I'm going to say I was a child because my grandfather lived on York Street, but at that time we weren't allowed to go on Bingham Street because there were a lot of activities that went around on that street, so we weren't allowed to go on that street. But I did learn about Bingham Park at an early age. But when I first actually interacted with Bingham Street, it was at age about 13, 14. I was going to Mendenhall Middle School, and I met some friends, and we heard about this big block party that they were having on Bingham Street. They was talking about Hollywood Pete. He would do like maybe once a month during the summertime, spring or summertime. So I found out my Bingham Street that way. But that was my first experience by going to a block party, a block jam from Hollywood Pete. You know, he was a very known well DJ and also a very well known roller skater and dancer. It would be the whole community. I mean, you have people from all over, north side, south side, and of course Bingham Street and Morningside homes. And it was just a big community thing where everybody got together. Sometimes they had like food, and we just danced and just have fun and have to worry about any violence, no fighting. It was just all about family and fun. So that was basically my first experience with Bingham Street. I would say around about 1984 when I was going to Mendenhall about 7th, 8th grade.
I found out about Bingham Park my first semester of my senior year. My professor recommended Bingham Park to me because I was interested in focusing on environmental justice. So she introduced me to Bingham Park with all the toxins and contaminants that were in Bingham Park and how I could revitalize that as a senior capstone.
I'm not sure if it has any history as far as Greensboro, as far as maybe being like maybe one of the first black parks in the area, because you know then with Morningside home with the 1979 masquerade when the Ku Klux Klans came through that area. But watching that, there's really no history as far as known for Bingham Park, like I said, except for Hollywood Pete being known as throwing block parties for the neighborhood and also being drug infested area. But I was watching that, it wasn't really known as a very good neighborhood.
Closed in 2024 after high levels of toxins were found in the soil there.
Neighbors who live just steps away from here, Bingham Park, tell me that they need clarity, timelines, and reassurance. They see Bingham Park as a vital part to their community.
Environmental testing revealed certain contaminants in the soil like lead, arsenic, and other heavy metals. And this raised concerns in the community about public health and environmental justice.
I didn't realize about the park being on a landfill until maybe about 2020, 21 when it actually came on the news. When it was on the news station, they started talking about it was on a toxic landfill, and I was like, oh my God, because we played in that area, in that park stuff for a long time. We went through that area, went through the cut and all that stuff, and that's when I found out about that it was a toxic landfill, and I was like, what in the world? It kind of shocked a lot of people in the neighborhood because no one really knew what was going on. We knew they had started saying no one was allowed on it. But then when it came on the news, it was toxic, and that's when they blocked it out. That's when we were like, oh God, what's going on?
Riley says the city submitted these plans to the state earlier this year. He says the full remediation of the park would cost more than $39 million. But Bingham Park isn't the only thing that could get a full remediation.
We acquired the old Hampton School site that was once one total piece of property, and so that property will be fully remediated. The stream bank and the park property will have remediation on it. And this was going to enrich the community that has been deserving of it for over 100 years. And so seeing something come to fruition in time is going to be something that will mean a lot to myself personally, but mean a lot more to the community at large.
But I'm hoping that they will come up with some type of solution where it's treating it with chemicals, or treating it with something that could make the land more pure again. But as far as anything, I'm not for sure on how they're going to do that. Because it's been since it's 2025 now, so just imagine how long it might have been contaminated before they actually found out about it. So right now, I just like for them, maybe to treat the land first before they think about doing anything.
I definitely think that students and community members are aware of the environmental issues of Bingham Park. There's been multiple community groups for years at this point that I've been trying to focus on reopening Bingham Park for those in the community to be able to access it and utilize the park in their neighborhood.
You know, once I finished middle school, and, you know, the neighborhood kind of started, you know, a lot of people started leaving, you know, because that area is considered as affordable housing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people kind of upgraded and became more sufficient with their house. So a lot of people left. So once they left, we really didn't really associate with that area anymore, you know, because at that time it became known as a very drug-infested area where they sold drugs, prostitution. So after that, we really didn't have any interaction with Bingham Street after that.
I think they're important to communities because it gives the people in the community a place to, you know, go outside, to have a space where they can enjoy the environment. And with a park like Bingham Park, with it being closed due to household waste and, you know, toxic soils, it takes away from their opportunity to be able to enjoy their outdoors and enjoy things that are in their neighborhood and in their communities.
I don't like to actually see a park there. Things for kids to do like slime boards, you know, trail. Atlanta's so big, you have a trail, a garden, you know, sitting there, benches and stuff for people to sit down, you know, enjoy the weather, you know, sit with their kids while they're playing in the park. But by that area, you know, I think it'd be kind of hard because of the area. It's very high crime rated and drug infested. So it'd probably be hard to do things like that because I think then the community would be more concerned on if people like loitering on that, you know, trespassing, not doing what it's intended for. But I would love to see like a park, a trail, flowers, benches, things for the community and family for kids to do. Because right now, if you have children there, there's nothing for the kids to do because there's no park. There's nothing in that area right about now.
It was once a place for play, and connection became a symbol of how environmental harm can linger across many generations, especially in Black communities, and to have often carried the burden of unsafe land use decisions in the community.